And before we go to the security console, let me just give you a brief about how the pricing, how the security model has been set up. Basically, everything now is driven through roles. Okay, so you would have a role of an account manager, you would have a role of a accounts payable clerk, you would have a role of a manager, you would have a role of a director, whatever it is. Depending on the role, you have access to different reports, different functions, different parts of the data. Okay, so these roles, first you have to define the roles you assign to users, right? So there's no responsibility as there was in R12. So that thing is gone now. You assign roles to people now, users. And the roles contain functions. The roles will contain all things relating to the access. So if you look at how the thing is defined, any person who needs access, who needs to access the application must have a user ID and a username and a password. Must have a user ID and password. And depending on the access requirement, roles will be assigned to that person, one or many roles. Role will consist of what we call as privileges, which means access to different parts of the data and the application. The roles are assigned to a security profile which controls the access to the data. Okay, and functions control access to the screens and the reports. This is straightforward. Understood?
Fine.
Right. Next, these are the different types of roles that we have. Duty role, that means what job role, abstract role, data role. Okay. Let's first look at abstract role. Abstract role means it is something of a role. Abstract means which doesn't exist. So something like an employee or a manager, that role doesn't exist by itself. You are an employee. Everybody is an employee. So there is no distinction between an employee and a manager except in the application. And how will you differentiate it? If you have people reporting to you, you become a manager, right? So that is an abstract role. Then you have a job role, which is like a security officer, purchasing officer, based on what work you are doing. HR manager, payroll manager. Then you have duty role. That means within a particular job role, you might be doing certain duties like payroll element entries, like payroll administration, benefit enrollment, running of payrolls, right? And then you could have data role. Data role means giving access to parts of the data. Payroll element entry US, payroll element entry India, payroll element entry Singapore. So you can only enter the elements for US, for India, or for Singapore. That is data role. See if you understand this.
Yeah, fine.
This is clear, na?
Yeah.
So you could have different roles and work areas. So you could have a role which is like HR manager who has access to this 6 parts. And you could have a HR specialist who has access to these 8 parts. And then HR analyst who has access to 3 parts only. So all this can be set up through the roles. And normally Oracle will supply you with all different roles and you can make a copy of that and then send it out. So security profile is something to, you can say it's like slicing the data, right? So you have your entire database which holds all payroll data that you are dividing into two different payroll, India payroll, US payroll, by using the payroll definition. So any user who is linked to India payroll will be part of security profile, let's say India payroll security profile. Any employee who belongs to US payroll will be part of US payroll security profile. That security profile will be assigned to the payroll, to the role. That role will be given to the user. So the user 1 is tied to employee 1, user 2 gets tied to user employee 2.
Okay.
Is that understood?
Yeah.
So as a practice, you will be doing this: copy an existing role, define a security profile based on any of this criteria. I'll show you this and then you can do it, and assign the security profile to the role, and then you can create a new user and assign the role to the user.
So we create rule or Oracle already have rules?
Oracle already has the roles. So we can make a copy of that role and create our own role.
Okay.
So let's go into the application now. So you can go to tools, security console. This is like the home page of security related stuff. So this is, you have all the roles displayed here: roles, users, analytics, that is, which user, what type of role, and things like that. To pull up any role, you can, just type 3 characters. Let's say payroll administrator.
No, the search is job role, details, everything is coming.
So this is the table format. You can also have a radial format. So this tells you this role, and roles can inherit other roles, like, we have that father, grandfather, son thing like that, inherit. So
What is the use?
means you can, suppose you are defining a duty role, you can assign it to a job role. So all things related to that duty role will become part of job role also.
Basically union.
You can say, yeah, like that. So this is a radial view, which gives you a diagrammatic view that this role, you can zoom. And from this color coding, you can see which one is a predefined role privilege and an aggregate privilege. Aggregate privilege means combination of privileges.
Can you
So
go back?
yes.
Can you go back? Can you go from starting? How did you open this?
So here, over here on the right hand side, see view as table is there. And right next to it, there is radial show graph.
Okay.
Like a radial view. So this shows. And then you can zoom here using this. So once you zoom in, you will find different colors are here. Security, P for privilege, A for aggregate privilege. So whenever you see another spike here, like this one, see, this has spikes. That means there are more roles going out from there. See this? If you expand, you will get further roles for this. This one. So this one is the S means it's the predefined role. Generate payslip, run US direct electronic report.
Actually, I couldn't understand.
Sorry?
I couldn't understand that.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't because roles and all you won't need to understand so much.
Oh,
This is just what things they have done in the solution. So it is like you can yourself do the navigation and find out also. So this gives you basically a different view of how the data, how the roles are set up. This is like the radial view. This is the like input view. The views are changing basically here. The format is changing. So all these roles together, they make up one role called as known as the payroll administrator. Okay. So the payroll administrator has access to all these different functions and roles and privileges. Okay. Now, when you want to do any particular analysis of, or you want to find out which user has which part and things like that, this is the analytics. So you go there, you can look at how many role categories. Categories are grouping of roles. Roles grouped together, which are something in common, like 9 administrator roles, or aggregate privileges, 695 aggregate privileges across everything, and this gives you a graphical view of the role categories rather. So this administrator role is comprised of these roles: APM, policy manager, all of this. Then you have BI abstract roles, BI duty roles. So these are all different groups, categories. So within that you have different types of roles. If you look at duty roles, you can see HCM. HCM, you have 4 types of roles: abstract roles, job roles, data roles, duty roles. So these are the data abstract roles: recruiter, employee, compensation approver, contingent worker. These are your abstract roles which are in the system. If you click on the role, let's say line manager, then you will see which users are you assigned to this particular role. It's already slow. So these are what are the different privileges within line manager. Okay, what parts of the application what things they can do, the functions that they have access to.
now, can you show me, for example, there are two legal different business units.
Wait. Let me just finish this. So you have the users. So you have different users who are part of the different who have access to this particular responsibility. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the role. These are the function securities, and these are the policies which define them. So that means which parts of the application, and then these are the user memberships. That is, who are the people who are assigned this particular role. Yes, you are asking something.
Just now we have two different business units, okay, and different job roles. So I want to create rules and conditions. How do you do that?
So you have to think of what type of role that is. Is that a job role, duty role, or is that a data role?
Basically, actually you can say one is HR manager, another one is the end user. So HR manager
Now
can
see, here when you are creating this, sorry, when you're creating these roles, you can have a role name which is like view all, and then you can have different roles here which may not be view all, like GSE test or AOR by business unit. So this is by business unit. Now when you create this type of role, this will be like a data role. Along with this, you will assign a security profile to this role. The security profile will give you the access to your business unit. So you have two business unit, business unit one security profile, business unit 2 another security profile. So here when you assign it, you will create two roles. One role will have business security profile 1, another role will have security profile 2.
Okay.
Now let me show you how we do that. And this is the users page where you can go and see all the, you can create users from here, you can assign users to this page. So you can say add user account, or you can look up any user.
On this side too.
Sorry?
This is okay.
Yeah, this is just normal user creation page. So once you say add user account, you will get all the name, email, password, and then you get the different roles.
What is this simple sign-on and the AP, other things, administration?
Those are basically for, certificates are, the digital certificates, right? And then user categories.
Or digital certificate means?
Yeah, and then you have single sign-on. Across applications, you can have single sign-on. You are aware of the concept of single sign-on?
I know aware, but how to use?
So through that, you can then pass information from the application to other applications. So API authentication, this is again for different kinds of access across the application, so that as and when needed, these APIs can access parts of the application. Okay, and you can push and pull data from the system.
Will they use this?
Sorry?
In the business, they're using this frequently or what?
API authentication is mainly used by technical people, for if you are bringing in data integration, or for pushing out data and stuff like that. Administration is, all things relating to this particular, what is the synchronization process, preferences, roles, when you define what will be the prefix, suffix, role copy status, how will the attribute Active Directory be synced up. There is something called as Active Directory. So that directory you can sync up with this. So let's take a look at these roles now. We had this particular payroll administrator role. So I'm pulling this up. This is our payroll administrator. If you click on this head here.
What is this create role is there actually? Can you create new one?
I'm copying the existing one. So I'll go to actions. We'll not create a new one. We'll copy. Copying is better because you already have most of it. You can make changes. So you can say copy top role and inherited role. So everything will get copied here. So here, see the prefix is coming as GSE. You can put SP also as a prefix because I am creating it. And then I say next. So these are the roles which have come with that payroll administrator. If I don't need anything, okay, suppose I don't need this, I will say delete.
Now, for example, if I'm a user, I want to use screen only that the employee screen to access it. How do you do that?
So for that, you will have to go and pull up a HR responsibility. You have to copy a role for HR. I am copying a payroll role, right? So I have to copy a HR role where that at person, or you have to look up what type of responsibility that is, and have only that one in the role.
This is basically a responsibility like DBS.
System administrators.
No, the name, the privilege name is showing. It's
Oh, there's a privilege name. Yeah, this is the name of the different roles and privilege. The privileges is basically the
like a
lowest
responsible.
level. Lowest level function. You can say the function in in EBS.
Yeah.
That is the privilege. So I deleted two of them. Okay, and let's say subledger related. I don't want anything here, so I'll remove all the subledger ones. So once you're done, I just made couple of changes. Then I say next. So here I can give, what data access. That means whether I'm giving them access to those tables or not. The data tables, that is the access. Data security, okay, grant on these are the different tables. See, the names of the tables are here. This is the data resource. So they will get access to these tables. Now, after this, we just leave that. If the function is not there, no use, they will not get access to that table anyways. These are the different, the roles and the hierarchy. Since we copied everything, including the lower level. So this is coming from this role. This is coming from this role. So these are different roles which have been combined into payroll administrator.
For understanding, can you create one simple role? This is confusing.
Okay, so now after doing this, if you want to add an user, you can add an user, and then you can assign this particular role. Right now, I am not creating the user. So I'll just see, it is telling me 5 have been removed.
This is fine, but can we create one sample role, separate
You
role?
try it later, na? I'm showing you the steps. You try creating a role and then assigning it to the user. Okay.
Can you show again this process?
Yeah, I'm recording it. I'll share the video with you. Okay. So basically what we did, we came to this payroll administrator, we clicked on this and we said copy role.
Copy and okay.
Once you do the copy role, then it will say copy top role and inherited roles. And then you run through all these step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. It's very straightforward. Just make 1 or 2 changes and you should be good enough for that. Okay. Now, if you want to compare the roles, you can go to this compare roles. So you have 2 roles now. One is, let's say, first role and second role. So let's say the role that we have defined, SP So this SP payroll takes a bit of time also. So you can, let's first, so this is one role that you have chosen, and we can wait for the other role, or we can compare with another role also. You can, we'll compare now with another one. It will take some time maybe. This is the payroll administrator copy, or the payroll coordinator. So first role, second role, it will give you by individuals what are the different privileges which are in first role, which is not in second role, or which is in second role but not in first role. See, no, this minus means it is not there, and you will have some things maybe which is there in the payroll coordinator, but administrator is a higher level, so you should see everything here. Oh yeah, here these are there which is not in payroll administrator. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the other option where you can compare. And if you are copying, like we were seeing this, I think over here, administration, role copy status. See this SP payroll, it is still showing as processing. That's why it was not showing up there. It will take some time. Let it copy. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Next, we will go and see how we do a security profile. So for that, we need to go to the setup and maintenance. Have you done a security profile in eBiz?
Not much actually.
Okay.
I know, but what is the concept? I've never done it.
Okay. It is the same thing here. Same way, you have a security profile screen where you go and you identify on the basis of what criteria your security profile will be created.
So roles, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So security profile. So these are different types of security profile: by country, by organization, legislative data group, or position, country, person. You were talking about business units and all that, right? So under organization, you can go and do that. If you want to do it by legislative data group, you can do it. So only UAE will come, only US will come, only India will come. Or you can do it by organization, person, depending on how you want it. So let's say I want to do a security legislative data group security profile. So I'll go to manage legislative data group security profile.
So this is applicable for across any organ, whether finance or HRMS. It's applicable across, right?
Yes. So when you create this, we'll say legislative data, name, and you can choose which legislative data group you want to give. Let's say AE, and you can give a name SPAE legislative data group security profile. And whether you want to view all or not, or you may view all means everything will be visible, all data, or only people belonging to that particular legislative data group will be visible. So if you search for it, you will find the one that we created just now, SPAE LDG security profile. So once this is done, once your security profile is done, you can create, you have to assign this security profile. Let's take a look at the organization security profile. So once you create something, see, you can do it by department hierarchy, by organization classification, department, what type of organizations you want to include, exclude. So you can have name of the departments and organizations also, which can be included. Excuse me. The other very common one that we use is person security profile.
We have to attach this security profile to roles, right?
Correct. Next, we'll do that. So here you can say, see, this is area of responsibility. Yesterday we were doing that area of responsibility. So you can secure it by area of responsibility. You can secure whether they will see employees, whether they will see contingent workers. These are enable, disable kind of things. Okay. This is secure. This is the manager hierarchy. This is by person types. Whether you want only employee person type, only third party person types. So they will only see contingent worker. They will only see employees. They will not see anything else. You can secure by business unit. You were asking that question during the role that you want to create a role for two different business units. So you first create two business unit for two security profiles. Okay. One security profile, you can say you want a GSE US legal entity. Another you can say GSE UK legal entity. And you can name them differently. And when you go to roles, you copy the same role and assign it to two different roles. Got it? Sadiq?
Yeah.
Followed?
Yes.
So similarly, legal employers also you can have by position, by legislative data group, by payroll. You can secure by payroll also. So individual payrolls you can call up and you can secure. You can say executive payroll, senior management payroll. They will only see that type of role, nothing else. Any exclusion rules, okay? Any custom criteria that you want to include. Custom criteria is like, any small piece of code you can write, or small PLSQL type of code, and then can be used. So we have created that that SPAELDG. So we will now assign that to the role. See, assign security profiles to role. This is the next step that we have to do.
So you created a person security profile, right?
I created a LDG.
LDG.
So SP, let's see if my role has got created. Oh no, still not created. SP payroll administrator. See, this is the one I created. So this one, Okay, so this is the job role. I can say SP payroll AELDG. So next is assigning the security profile. So we are securing it by LDG. So you have to scroll down. LDG comes here. So once you look at this drop down, you will find the LDG here. So we have assigned our security profile to our role. Okay. Now rest of them that are here, all of them are mandatory. So you have to give by default, you have to give that view all organization. So they will see everything. If you have other security profiles, you want to link payroll and legislative data group, then you can do all that also. You can have different security profiles, combination of different security profiles also. So here under person, this person also you want to secure by legislative data group, then you will have to have that enabled, or you can say there is, I think, a view all employees. So you will see all employees, view all people. Okay, and view all flows. So these are all that if you want to change anything here step by step, they will take you through all the security profiles. Okay. Otherwise, you can just review if you are done with everything, because I assigned the view all for everyone. So I am now done on one screen only. I don't have to go through every screen, and then I will say submit. Followed this?
Followed this, but I have to work out. I think.
Yes, you have to try it on your own. Otherwise, you will not get this clear.
Lot of confusion.
Yeah, try it. It's straightforward only. First time you're looking at it now, that's why it looks like that. Otherwise, it's straightforward. So once we are done with this, we'll go back. We'll go to the users. We'll say create users.
I want to do, I'll create two users. One is direct user, another one is HR manager. Okay.
Whenever you create these different roles, try to look up an existing role, search for that, and then copy that.
We can't create new completely.
You can create new. The thing is, it may not work properly because all the privileges won't be there. Then you will be stuck.
But tell me, when in the real-time business, what you do?
We copy. First priority is always copy.
So you never create one?
As far as possible, no. Because, if there is more problems, if troubleshooting it, it will take more time. Why unnecessarily? Welcome 1, 2, 3. Welcome 1, 2, 3. So add role. So we'll SP.
So user, how do you attach security profile to a role in that same?
We attached already, that SP payroll.
Second one,
right? Second screen. We attached the security profile to the role.
In the second screen, right?
And this role we are now giving to the user.
Okay, this is fine. Sign on.
Yeah. So now save and close. That's it. So our What are the steps we did? We first created the role, then we created the security profile, then we assigned the security profile to the role, and then we created a user and gave the role to the user.
Okay.
Now see, there is something called as auto provision. Auto provision means you can set up rules by which assign this automatically to certain users based on.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Suppose you have a new employee joining. Now all employees can be given the employee role, right?
Yeah.
So that you can automatically, we call it auto provision it.
Okay.
Okay. So how do we do that? I'll show you next. But first, let us log out and log back in as Vivek Kumar. Huh? We created that user, na?
Okay.
See? So this person has only access to small piece, only the payroll stuff, nothing else. Got it?
Yeah. The data level security is applied, right?
Mm.
Based on the LG.
Is the LDG. So LDG will not see here. Let me see. LDG is not here. So we'll have to go to the payroll side.
So what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to see the list of LDGs. See at the top, there is a legislative data group. Okay. Now, as per our rules, the person should get access only to the AE legislative data group, right? So that is what I am trying to see where we can see that. See, in this legislative data group, only AE legislative data group is coming. If you go to the standard one, you will be able to see all the country legislative data group, including US, UK, France, Italy, India. But here we are only seeing AE. Why? Because we have given a security profile of AE legislative data group.
So we set up a group.
Yeah, wherever legislative data group is there, that field will be restricted. So I cannot create anything for US. I cannot see anything for US.
Okay.
I can only see AE related ones if there is anything defined. If nothing is defined, I will not see anything. Got it?
Yeah, fine.
That is the purpose of this security profile, to give you restricted access. And see here that setup and maintenance is missing. This user cannot go to setup and maintenance because that corresponding role has not been given to him.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to show you was the auto provisioning thing.
What is it, auto provisioning?
Auto provisioning means automatically assigning a role to a person.
When they create an employee.
Yeah, based on certain criteria. So manage role provisioning rules. Okay. So you can search for an existing one, or let's say mapping name employee. See, this is one employee and employee progress US. So let's look at the one for employee. For employee, what they are saying, moment someone's assignment type is, this is the condition part of it. Okay, this is the condition. This condition has to be fulfilled. If this condition is fulfilled, then this role will be assigned. So what is this condition? Assignment type has to be employee, system person type has to be employee, and HR assignment status has to be active. Then the role will be employee and requestable auto provision.
So you can add one more role if you want.
Yes. If that condition is fulfilled, he will get it. Similarly, if you look at the other one that we were seeing, employee progress US, can you tell me what is different here?
Based on the legal employee business.
Sorry?
Based on the based on the legal entity they created.
Correct. Legal employer and business unit. These two have to be progress US and this has to be progress US. Then this will be automatically assigned. So that is why auto provision is there. So if you were to define something yourself, you can also create. So you can say plus. So you can give a mapping name, let's say SP payroll admin. So it could be based on the job or the position. So let's say payroll, maybe payroll administrator or somebody who is in payroll, payroll clerk or payroll manager or payroll director, let's say. Payroll director, this whoever is in this position, okay, that person, and the system person type, obviously he has to be an employee. Then what role do you want to give him? If this condition is fulfilled, then you want to give him SP pay. Oh. There's confusion between pay code and the role, role name and role and the role code. SP underscore payroll is the role code, and SP payroll is the name of the role. So once you save and close this, so moment you hire someone as a payroll director, this person will get this particular role automatically.
Mostly they do like this in a real business scenario.
Yes, they will do it. Normally, they do it for the employee, manager, contingent worker, these. The other ones, obviously, if you have lot of users, then you may consider doing this automatically. Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Understood?
Yeah, understood, but I have to work out.
Yes, you have to do this. Unless you do it yourself, this will not become clear for you.
Still, I understand the concept. I know what is this. Only thing how to do that. That is in confusion.
Correct, correct. So you can follow this. I will share the video with you. So you can follow the video, and then you can try this out.
Okay. Possibly tomorrow I won't be there. Is it possible to connect on Saturday?